"Hi, Nancy," I said, tucking the phone between my ear and shoulder as I bent down to pull the freshly baked pumpkin pie out of the oven. The pecan pie I had baked earlier was cooling on the counter, and the kitchen smelled of sugar, cinnamon, and pumpkin. Midnight, my black cat, was snoozing in his favorite chair, which was positioned right next to the window so the sun would slant across him. "You'll be happy to know the pies are baked and cooling." "Hey, Charlie," Nancy said, her voice hesitant. "Glad to hear it. And, well, that's what I was calling about." I paused, one hand on the handle of the open oven door. Although I had turned the oven off, the heat was still wafting up toward my face, and I could feel the sweat start to bead on my forehead. "Is there a problem?" I wondered if she was calling to cancel her annual Thanksgiving dinner, which would mean no turkey for me. On the flip side, I would have plenty of pie to eat. Nancy owned the Redemption Inn, and every year she hosted a small Thanksgiving dinner at the hotel for a handful of us who had no family in the area, plus any hotel guests who also had nowhere to go for the holiday. I had been a regular for Thanksgiving since I first moved to Redemption, Wisconsin a few years back. "I'm not sure," Nancy said. "How many pies did you make?" "2," I said. "1 pecan and 1 pumpkin." "Only 2?" I ran a hand through my brownish, blondish hair, damp with sweat from the heat of the kitchen, and took a step back from the oven. I was sure my cheeks were bright red. "Was I supposed to make more? I thought we agreed that 2 would be enough. There are 8 of us, right?" "Well, actually, I think there's going to be 11 now," Nancy said. 11? I studied the pies. If there were going to be 11 of us, then we all couldn't have a piece of pumpkin pie. Did I have enough pumpkin to make another pie? How did we get to 11? "Well, there's you and me," Nancy said, "and Pat and Richard." Pat was my best friend, and Richard was her husband. "And Tilda. You know Tilda, right?" "Of course I know Tilda," I said, trying to keep the sigh out of my voice. Tilda was a retired nurse who had now decided to start a second career as a private investigator, and she had chosen me as her mentor. I unfortunately didn't have much to say about it. Hopefully, I wasn't going to be spending the entire Thanksgiving meal answering questions about the sleuthing business, especially since I didn't even consider myself a sleuth. I was a tea maker. I grew herbs and flowers in my backyard and turned them into custom teas that I sold out of my house. "Oh, that's right," Nancy said. "I remember Tilda mentioning something about you being her mentor in her new side gig." I closed my eyes. This was going to be fun. "So that's 5, and you had 2 guests joining us as well, right? Or are there more?" "No, it's still only 2, both single men with no families back home, so it made no sense for them to leave for Thanksgiving." "Okay, we're up to 7 if my math is right. And Ginny is going to be there again, right? So that makes 8. Like me, Ginny had been a fixture at Nancy's Thanksgiving get-togethers. Also like me, the reason she was there was because she was more or less estranged from her family, although she would never say it like that. She had 3 adult children who all seemed to be way too busy with their own lives to make time for her at Thanksgiving. "Yes, Ginny is going to be there." The hesitation was back in Nancy's voice. "Along with her 3 kids." I paused, not sure I heard correctly. Ginny is coming with all 3 kids? Why would she do that? If they're all here, why doesn't she have Thanksgiving at her house? Nancy let out a long, deep sigh. "It's complicated." "I can make 2 more pies." "Oh, perfect. So the dessert is taken care of. Now I just have to make sure Tilda is bringing enough stuffing and Pat is bringing enough green bean casserole. And then I have to get back into the kitchen and start the rolls and the mashed potatoes. At least the turkey is in the oven."